Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Buggy like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
I got everyone ready to roll? All right, guys. Let's go through a couple items here at the front end, and then we'll kind of go from there. It's a good start. All right. Medically, obviously, we have a few items there. The two guys that will be listed as out for our game is Trevor Penny and Chase Young, and then questionable will be Jordan Howden. So, we'll navigate that through the remainder of this next couple days. But we'll be fine there, and we're excited about some other guys that have some opportunities as we go. And so, good Friday. Our guys did a really good job at practice. It was a fast Friday. I love the energy that they brought, and so it feels like we're heading right where we need to be, and we're excited about this opportunity. And with that being said, I think one thing I just want to hit was tonight's a Friday Night Lights opportunity. I think in the state of Louisiana, a lot of high school teams playing for the first time this week. Everyone knows my background. The Prosser Mustangs in Washington will be playing the Freda Tigers, and so it's a fun night. And I think for everyone around football, obviously, this begins this fun weekend where you get high school football on Friday, college on Saturday, and then obviously the NFL on Sunday. And so everyone's excited. Football's here, and we're ready to roll.
When it comes to Chase being out and Trevor being out, have you already decided sort of how you're going to shift things around roster-wise in order to be able to accommodate for that?
Yeah, we'll have to make a little adjustment probably tomorrow, and so we'll navigate that as we go through this process. But obviously, we feel like we've invested a lot of time in a lot of these guys. We got some depth up there. Grando, obviously Cam, those guys are ready to roll, and we'll be fine.
And what are you seeing from field ratings over the course of this offseason, preseason, everything?
Dylan's just done an awesome job of just taking advantage of each opportunity. And, early in camp, he was kind of moving all over the place and just kind of trying to find his opportunity wherever it may present itself. And obviously this left guard spot, once Trevor got hurt, he pounced on the opportunity. And so I think he's just been a really steady player. He's played really well. And so he's put himself in a really good position to have a great Sunday.
So Monte won't have a game day designation?
No.
With Chase, what's kind of the update there? How does it
Yeah, it's just a calf. We're just going to have to take it week to week and see how this thing progresses. And, he's doing everything he can.
How has Matt just gone through this process with Spencer and getting his feedback on what he likes, what he doesn't like, and doing that for the first time?
Yeah, there's constant communication through the week. I think today's a big day, and really leading up to the game, the next really 48 hours will be the part that we really focus in on exactly what we're doing on Sunday, narrow the focus really, really well. And so I'm excited with how he's prepared himself all week, and so he'll put himself in a great spot.
How important is it just to have honesty in that, from his side and him not being maybe afraid to tell you what he doesn't like, as opposed to a player's instinct is yes, coach, just to make sure that.
Absolutely. We got to have real clean and open dialogue. I think that's really, really important, certainly from the quarterback position. I think for all players, I think the communication we have over the next 48 hours and then through game day is really, really critical. The offensive line communication, the running back communication, everyone needs to communicate at a really high level. Like we said, adjustments are going to occur in a week one game. It's going to happen. We got some really, really good players, I think, that can communicate at a high level and put ourselves in a really good position.
You felt a big emphasis on unsportsmanlike conduct penalties this offseason. Given the events of last night's game, is that something you re-emphasize to your players in the next few days?
We went through a bunch of football and situational stuff today in the team meeting, and that was certainly one of the things that we had to address. And, it's just, whatever our opinions are irrelevant at this point. There's a couple penalties and situations even from last night that obviously can be really good teaching moments for us.
Were you going to score a ring that's this big, the Eagles ring?
Yeah, it's a good size. I don't even know where it is right now, but we got it this summer. So.
Was it cool for you to watch the Mayor go up last night?
I did not see the banner moment. I saw most of the game. I thought it was a great game. It was really fun to see NFL football at its finest. I thought both teams played really well, and it was just a really good game for us to watch. And for our team, we saw a bunch of teaching opportunities that we were able to hit today during the team meeting.
Were you busy at the time, or did you actively avoid it?
No, we were still meeting.
When it comes to the Cardinals, obviously James Conner is their main back. What's the biggest thing you have to watch for with him in the ground game?
Yeah, it just seems like, as the game goes down, he wears people out, and he's got a really good stiff arm. And once he gets out in space, it's hard to tackle him and bring him down in one-on-one situations. And so it's going to be really important that we rally together, play together. It's really good defense, team tackle, vice tackle, all those sorts of things that come up.
What's kind of your process when you are watching another game? Are you taking like notes on everything? Can you just kind of like enjoy it? Like, what are you like?
Yeah, usually, I don't know if I enjoy it the same way most people enjoy it. I think you're always finding teachable moments, whether it's situational football, something that, we need to watch that, or, we need to talk about that, or whether it's a defense or an offense or a special teams play. It's like, we should maybe look into that one. That's pretty much what my phone note tab is. It's just never-ending scrolling lists of things that come up in games.
Do you have like go-to guys you like to watch for like just play ideas and stuff like that? Yeah, like.
We'll go through a process, usually early at the end of each week after the Sunday games, like watching the league. I think it's important to understand the trends around the league and things that are coming up, because certainly you're going to face them in both sides of the football. People are going to follow those trends, and you want to be aware of what things, you want to be sitting here week 12 and discovering a missed opportunity as you go through this.
The former Montana State quarterback you guys had at the practice squad this week, what's kind of the vision for him?
Yeah, we had a great chance to work out Tommy. We've obviously put him in the receiver room, as you guys have seen, and so he obviously does have a quarterback background, but he's focused on playing receiver right now, and we'll just kind of see how it all plays out. But he's a great kid. Transitions are really hard in this league when you go from one position you've played just about most of your life to go into another one, and so it's exciting just to see him kind of grow in that aspect.
Is there any idea of using him in like a gadgety Taysom type role?
We're in really preliminary. I mean, he just got here the other day. And so I think the main focus is just to let him just play receiver, evaluate that. We know there's other things that he's done in his past. He had a great career at Montana State. He had a ton of success there leading those guys for a number of years. And so, we're excited about the opportunity.
See somebody that maybe you guys were on had he not been taken in the 6th round?
We talked about him. We talked about him through the draft process. He was a very, we were all curious. The transition was kind of a unique thing just because you want to see how that transition is going to go, what position he's going to play. But we definitely went through the draft process. His name came up. We talked about it. Vegas gave him an opportunity. And so we feel fortunate it turned out this way as well.
What's like your pregame, like on Sunday, like what's your routine like before you stay?
Nothing crazy. Yeah. Nothing crazy. I mean, wake up. I love that I'm like 10 minutes from the dome here. That's awesome. That's one of my favorite parts. It's not a long drive. And so other than that, we just get in there. And, for me, calling the plays, I kind of go through a little highlighter routine once I get to the dome, just kind of going back through the call sheet, anticipating all the calls and all the situations and kind of playing that out in your mind one more time. And then after that, it's about, just getting ready for that.
Will it feel different? I mean, you've been in football games your whole life. This is your first time as the head coach. Like, does that kind of resonate at all, or do you just kind of have to?
It'll be fun. It'll obviously be fun. I mean, we did 3 preseason games there, so we've had 3 trial runs at this thing, and so I think everyone's ready to go, and it'll be fun.
Is that sort of highlight routine something you do on your own, or is that like does Brandon take part in that as well?
So just myself, and then we'll go through some offense, defense, special teams items that we just want to hit one more time.
Is the family pretty excited about your first game?
Yeah, they'll be excited. They'll have a ton of fun, and I know they're looking forward to it. And from the Who Dat chant to the crowd to the energy in that place, I think our family's really excited to experience it. Yeah.
Y'all had the 3 preseason games this one. Does it feel any different to you?
Obviously, you put a whole week's prep into this thing. And so, the big thing for all of our players we spent all week is let Sunday get here. Sunday will get here. You got to have a really good week. You got to focus on each day, get better. Wednesdays and Thursday practices aren't easy. It's not this, it's hard. You got to work through that. And then Friday, you have a quicker practice, got to play fast, but then you got to get ready to go on Sundays. And so, our guys are excited.
With Chase out, is Cam still a guy that can handle 50-ish snaps in his career?
I certainly think he's still got that potential. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's had a really good camp, and you can just see, for him as he's ramped up through this whole training camp, you can see, how well he's been playing towards the back end of this thing, and he's in a great position to have a really good start to this season.
How valuable do you expect it to be, or how valuable is it rather to be expecting a lot of?
Y'all had the 3 preseason games this one. Does it feel any different to you?
Obviously, you put a whole week's prep into this thing. And so, the big thing for all of our players we spent all week is let Sunday get here. Sunday will get here. You got to have a really good week. You got to focus on each day, get better. Wednesdays and Thursday practices aren't easy. It's not this, it's hard. You got to work through that. And then Friday, you have a quicker practice, got to play fast, but then you got to get ready to go on Sundays. And so, our guys are excited.
With Chase out, is Cam still a guy that can handle 50-ish snaps in his career?
I certainly think he's still got that potential. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's had a really good camp, and you can just see, for him as he's ramped up through this whole training camp, you can see, how well he's been playing towards the back end of this thing, and he's in a great position to have a really good start to this season.
How valuable do you expect it to be, or how valuable is it rather to be expecting a lot of the back on the field?
Yeah. Alante, we've talked a lot about him through this whole offseason. I think he's just had a phenomenal camp and had an unfortunate injury that popped up, while we were in California. And outside of that, it's just been a really impressive process for him. He's done a nice job, and he's putting us in a position to, have great success. And I think his versatility, he did an awesome job this week. He hopped in there and just did a great job all week.
He's spoken a lot about the kind of energy that he brings as well. Is that particularly valuable in an opening, game like that?
No doubt. I think, anytime we see Alante out there, we know he got a heck of a chance.
Out of the draft, but maybe when he's a free agent, but do you have an appreciation of his career at all?
I mean, hey, this is what our goal and aspirations are at this place is, we talk a lot about certain positions. Offensive line and defensive line is where it's at. And I'm a quarterback guy, and I love throwing the football and doing all this sort of stuff. But the standard they set, at the offensive line for so many years here with all the, great history that this place has, it was a special grouut. And it was special because it was run, inside out and led by those guys. And so, we're trying to emulate that, as we build this thing right now.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the live on this one. Hey, listen, fam, it's Friday. Much love to you guys for being in the stream. And please do me a service. Hit upon the like button and the subscribe button. And don't forget to sub up, man. We recently crossed over the 14,000 mark, and I just want to give you guys a round of applause. Shout out to the new family members that's joining in. Big ups to you. And of course, man, several platforms. We continue to grow. TSC Unleashed it adds to it. So relatively combined with the channels, man, well over almost 25, 30,000 subs and gaining across all of our social media. It's like 25, 30,000 plus people and a part of the Sports Coma family across multiple platforms, just YouTube alone, the Tough Tiger Talk, Pelican Post Game Report, TSN Unleashed, Ring Kings Boxing, man. We doing the damn thing. So big ups to you guys, and thank you for all the fantastic support. So just to kind of look at what we heard from Kellen Moore, our fantastic new head coach, that is an offensively inclined guy who comes from the quarterback side of things, talking about what we like to talk about, and that is the offense, generating the offense, moving the offense, and doing some stuff. So he basically talked about some of the injury report, and let's hit upon some of that, shall we, in this broadcast. Big ups to you guys. Thank you for being in this live, man. Let's get it going. Let's get it popping, fam. Anyway, the Saints injury report. If you haven't heard, the Saints have several players that's listed on their injury report for week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals. Trevor Penning with a toe is DMP'd the entire week. He is out for this upcoming game. We kind of knew that was going to happen with Trevor Penning. That wasn't much of a surprise based on the fact that that happens. Of course, as we keep moving, Christian Boyd with a hand, he was limited. Then he went from limited to full both Thursday and Friday, and he's looking good for game day. So we'll see how that goes. Jordan Howden dealing with an oblique situation, limited at that backup safety role. He's questionable for the game. Alante Taylor was limited, then went to fully practice on Friday, which means he's good to go. He has the green light for week 1. Chase Young, however, does not have the green light, as he is dealing with, he went from a limited calf issue, he definitely re-aggravated it. You heard what Kellen said. And he was Thursday and Friday DMP'd, and to take it on the safe side, the Saints have listed him as out for this upcoming game. So no Chase Young against the Arizona Cardinals, and we definitely would need his speed and versatility. On the Cardinals side of things, offensive lineman Will Hernandez is dealing with a knee issue. He's officially out of the game. The other offensive lineman, Mr. John Gaines II, is dealing with a thumb. He fully practiced. Defensive lineman Dante Steele is limited with a heel injury. Linebacker Owen Papo, if it's a quadricep situation, was limited. Both of those two previous mentioned guys are questionable. And defensive lineman Calais Campbell is on a rest day with DNP, which means he'll be good to go. Not injury related, simply rest and getting him ready for the Arizona game. So he'll be there as well. So that is the injury report. And it's a very small one, but we know Penning will be out of that thing. So with Chase Young. So the Saints will operate accordingly. So anyway, as we keep this thing moving and grooving, let's take a look at what the Saints could possibly do insofar as dealing with the out status, we know that Dylan Redunce, or Redunce, however you pronounce it, is listed as the top backup for Trevor Penning, which means he will be active and going in at the guard position, 6'6", 300 plus pounds with 5 years of NFL experience at the guard position, not at the tackle position, out of North Dakota State. He is, and like I said, and in my estimation, I think that Dylan Redunce at this stage of his development is the best, or guards position is the best out of Trevor Penning. Penning still trying to learn the job. I think Dylan Redunce has 5 years of NFL experience, and he should be serviceable. He was supposed to be the Saints when they drafted him, supposed to be the starting guard before they shifted the plan when they drafted Kelvin Banks Jr., moved Tolly to right tackle, had Kelvin at left tackle, and ultimately that put Penning as the top tackle on the bench. Then a plan somewhere in the building was made to try to convert Penning into a guard. He was having some success, still blocking up high. Technique still wasn't as crisp as you like it. But in my opinion, if you need guard play, Dylan Redunce probably is at this stage of his career is a better guard than Trevor Penning. And of course, Torricelli Simpkins is also a better guard than Trevor Penning currently, just not as experienced as Redunce, obviously, right? So with that being said, I think the Saints ultimately are and should be all right with this, as McCoy is there and everybody is also healthy there. Excuse me. And of course, as we segment to the defensive side and we deal with the fact that Chase Young is out, the Saints, this draft or depth chart family is coming from the Saints website, right? So they're showing, the Saints is, showing a 3 wide receiver look here. There's nothing to talk about. Of course, no fullback from years past. But the thing is, the Saints defense, if you look at it, is showing a 4-2-5 defensive look, not a 34, but a 4-2-5. 2 edges, 2 edge guys, 2 inside defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs, 3 cornerbacks and 2 safeties, right? All listed. So basically the Saints operating a 4-2-5 defense according to the depth chart. Now they could adjust this a bit, whatever. But in the end, you see with Chase Young hurt, who could be ultimately the guy to kind of help out? We know Chris Rump is already active on the team, but of course the Saints will have to add some depth there. So who could it be? Well, there's several guys on the practice squad, but some people believe it'll be Fadil Diggs. Of course, he's the 7th-round selection, one of 2 7th-round picks the Saints have in Matavo, and the only Saints draft pick from this year that did not make the starters. And that's because Chris Rump was doing such a stellar job there that he barely missed out on it. But had Rump not been there, Fadil Diggs would also have made the team. So a lot of people think Fadil will get deactivation. Somebody will get deactivated. Fadil will probably get activated, or perhaps the Saints will go with somebody else. There are several defensive players currently at that position. Maybe they can reach to. If it's not Fadil Diggs, there are other guys there that could possibly look at. We don't think it'll be Iku Leota. He just got there. So more than likely you see Garrett Nelson, who they picked up, new. He just got there. So a lot of these guys probably won't be the guys. So Fadil Diggs or Jonah Williams, more than likely, will probably be the guys that, if you have to think about it, that might be the guys that step in for Chase Young. I would put my money with either Fadil Diggs or Jonah Williams. Either one of these guys could be the winner as far as that's concerned. So very interesting, man, to say the least, about the Saints in this one, man, as we getting ready on this Friday. We got a handful of games. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys lose to Philly in the Thursday night matchup, 24-20. We'll see what happens coming up soon. But the reality is, is that, it's going to be interesting. Of course, we got Kansas City here. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers have a matchup at 7 p.m. Central Time. But anyway, like I said, man, it's going to be interesting, man. We get our opportunity on noon to take on Arizona. Opening up in the Dome is always a positive thing for the black and gold. Opening up, and this will be a good statement game, like to open up and defend home territory. If you're at home, you should win. That's the whole thing, and that's the mindset the team should have. It's like we have to defend the home territory. We're at home. We should and will win this game. And if they can do that, they have 2 home games to start the season off. The Saints have Arizona coming in. Then they have the 49ers, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, family. And then the Seahawks on the road, followed by the Buffalo Bills. That's our September 4-game slate for September. That's what we got going on here. So we're going to see what the Saints do here, man. But it's good news that the Alontae Taylor is good to go. But with Chase and Trevor Penning out, I think the Saints have enough depth to definitely pivot and do some positive stuff. So not bad at all for the New Orleans Saints, man. And we just going to just do what we do, man, and make sure the black and gold stay on point. But anyway, fam, listen, that's just a brief update I just wanted to share with you guys as well. And of course, just letting you know. And then, of course, one more item of news before I end up leaving you for later on tonight at 8 p.m. We'll be doing the Saints versus the Cardinals preview. We'll open and have hosts from the Believe in Cardinals podcast to chime in on thoughts on their side of it with the Arizona Cardinals. So if you guys want to learn everything about the Saints and the Cardinals, be here tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. Hit the notification bell, man. That's how you won't miss it. You'll make sure you get alerted that way. Hit the notification on that show. That show is posted already. All you have to do is hit the notification or the sub button, and you'll be right in there. Now, NFL assigns referee Scott Novak for the Week 1 Saints-Charger game, penalty, stats, and history. Now, this is shout out to Sigler of the Saints Wire for giving a scoop. We're closing in on the start of the season. How about that? And now we know which referees will be officiating the kickoff game. Football Zebras report that veteran ref Scott Novak and his crew will be working Sunday's matchup with the Cardinals at the Superdome. If you're curious, the Saints have gone 3-3 in games Novak has worked since being promoted to referees back in 2019. In that span of time, the Cardinals are 1-6, and that lone win came against the Dallas Cowboys back in 2022 when Kellen Moore was the Cowboys offensive coordinator. Dallas was fouled 10 times for a loss of 88 yards in that game, while Arizona drew 7 penalties for a loss of 45 yards. Also, so which penalties should the Saints look out for? Last year, Novak's crew threw a lot of flags for false starting, 41 in offensive holding, 40, and not much else. Their next most common penalty was defensive pass interference, but that tied for the 4th fewest among the league's 17 officiating crews, 14 times in 17 games. No crew totaled fewer yardage on defensive pass interference fouls than Novak's 189 yards. They penalized home teams and visitors for defensive pass interference 7 times each. So Novak's crew ranked near the middle of the pack in penalties per game last year, with an emphasis on the offensive line for both teams. That could be a problem for the Saints. They're starting at least 2 faces on Sunday, with rookie draft picks Kelvin Banks Jr. stepping in at the left tackle and veteran journeyman Dylan Dunce filling at the left guard. Second-year quarterback Spencer needs to be careful with his cadence too. New Orleans has to play clean football and avoid hurting themselves with mental errors at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely, and well said there, Mr. Sigler, because I concur. The referees are very important to what the Saints do, because we always know that certain referees do not referee for us kindly, right? And the only way out of that is the Saints have to do what they got to do. You got to move your feet and get in front of guys. You can't get lazy and remain flat-footed, because that's when you get in trouble. Being flat-footed and not moving your damn feet, and you get a little reachy and do stuff that the referee will catch you for. And we have to execute. We have to be on point. And this is the thing. And that's when we talk about like the philosophy and how the Saints would do, and how people are ranking down on the Saints because of the inexperienced quarterback position. Nothing else but the inexperienced quarterback position. It taints the team in their perspective. But in the end, my focus is also to kind of look at the overall intelligence of this team. How intelligent is Kellen Moore's New Orleans Saint team? How disciplined is the New Orleans Saints under Kellen Moore's leadership? That's the thing I'm looking at, how intelligent and how disciplined. Because if this is an intelligent and disciplined team that learn to keep their fouls and they keep their things and all this kind of stuff down, the negative stuff that hurts them, they should be okay. This team should be great. That's what I'm thinking about. I think there will be a fantastic, excellent team if all of that falls in line. So we'll see how it all goes. But in the end, I really do think that the New Orleans Saints team will have some success this year because they have intelligence at the quarterback level. They have at the head coach level and innovation, imagination, and then by all means having fun. When all of your work is done, when your homework is done, then you're allowed to go out in the yard and play. So let's see if the Saints can follow those tenets. How smart, how intelligent, and adaptable. Let's throw that to that. Adaptable and accountable. How about that fourth one? Are the New Orleans Saints. And if we can answer those questions early on, then we'll know exactly what kind of team we have here and how far they can go. Because if they possess a great deal of each one of those last four items that was mentioned, then I think that this team could have a special season. If not, it'll be something to build on. All right. So anyway, with that being said, man, that'll be the end of the show. It's a short one, but nevertheless, don't worry about it. We will be back at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight with guests that will preview the Saints and Cardinals game. Remember, the Cardinals, I believe, are 6.5 point favorites, which makes the Saints underdogs. A lot of these people believe the Saints are going to be a top 3 worst team in the NFL. Let the Saints make a statement against a difficult, because this Cardinal team is going to be a difficult team. I still think the Saints can get a win, but it will not be easy. This Cardinal team is healthy. They have some really good weapons around. They have good running backs. They have very good wide. They have good wide receiver play. Kyler Murray is the Achilles heel to the Saints, old school Saints defense. And I'm talking about the last 4 years and then some, if you think about it. How good is the Saints or Coach Brennan Staley's defensive unit, and how fast are they to be able to control and catch and bring down a very elusive Kyler Murray, who will test the Saints scrambling around out of there. Can the Saints spy him, and can they keep him contained? Because he can move with his feet. He also can throw on a run. He has an arm, and that little guy can make plays. So the Saints going to have to contain him and blitz him, and they're going to have to be disciplined. They're going to have to be smart. A little game on that. So we'll talk about that and then some tonight on the preview stream. So with that being said, y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the join button, hit the notification for future content, man. We up in this thing. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I shall return a little later on. Much love to the fam. Who Dat, and peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Vincent, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Vincent, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees are Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check